In today's tutorial, we are doing doodles both cute and spooky. This is just in time for those glorious, gloomy autumn days leading up to Halloween. So let's get started. First, we're going to do some ghosts. They're all very similar, but with some small differences, we can make a whole bunch of them. The first one has a round body, two little arms, a semicircle for the head, so semicircle, very rounded body with a little tail, and then you just put these two little paws on the side for arms, and the mouth can be very simple, just a circle, same with the eyes. Next one is the sort of floating ghost, and with this one you can start with that semicircle for the head and then just drop down and do this sort of wavy bottom, and that gives you that floating ghost, and he can be a happy ghost with a little smile. The next one, you're going to do the semicircle for the head, draw a line out on each side, and then bring it to a point at the bottom so the base is very triangular. Keep those lines wavy so that it looks spooky, and the ghosts don't always need mouths. You can just do the black eye sockets. Now for the last one, he's super cute. Start with a circle, then you're going to put an arm on the left, an arm on the right but slightly in, and then give him a little tail. Okay, so let's go over him in pen. Circle for the body, the arm on the right is indented, the arm on the left is right on the side, and give him a little tail on the bottom. He's so cute, he's like a little baby ghost. All right, I'm gonna label that one ghosts, and next we are gonna move on to some pumpkins. For any pumpkin, do the initial shape first, sketch, then give it a little stem. Then you're going to start with that middle section and then draw two little sections coming out from each side of the middle. Then some leaves or vines if you want. So here we go in pen. Let's start with that stem, and we'll just fill in these little curly cute pumpkin-y vines. You've got that middle section, then go out twice on the left and then twice on the right. So you get this very gourd-like realistic pumpkin, maybe a few little spots or warts, but you can also keep it simpler. Start with your initial shape, whether it's long and tall or chubby and little, give it a stem, and then you can just draw those lines. Keep the lines wavy so the shape looks organic, and that's all there is to it. Now next we're going to do a jack-o'-lantern. So we start with the initial shape that we want it to be. This one's sort of chubby and large, a little stem, and then we'll put the face on. And I'm just doing two triangles for eyes and then these jagged lines that meet up to create a mouth, and put those lines on to show the pumpkin, and that's it. I'll go over it in pen, and what I do here is I'm actually making the bottom a bit of a scalloped edge so that it looks very pumpkin-y and gourd-like. And then I'm going to, of course, color in these eye sockets and mouth very dark. But if you're coloring this in with markers or pencil crayon, you could also do this part yellow to show that it's glowing from the inside. But when it's in that pen and ink, that black graphic face looks really cool. So filling it in all the way can give it that really wonderful jack-o'-lantern look. I'm just doing, again, those wavy lines to make it look like this, this big, ugly old pumpkin, and then we'll put a few vines and leaves on there as well. And we'll label this section pumpkins because that's what it is. All right, next we're going to do a skull. So you start with that semicircle for the top, and then you drop down and kind of do a little rectangle across the bottom of your circle here. Two circles for the eyes, and you can see how that bottom section begins to look like teeth with just a few lines. So here we'll do it over in pen, and you just create along that rectangle at the bottom, you divide the space to show teeth, do two circles for the eye holes, and then sort of two little lines or an upside down V shape to show the nose. And that's sort of this really spooky but cute in some sort of way type of skull. I'm going to move on and do some tombstones. You just want to do these wonky upside down U shapes. And one trick is to go over the line twice, but don't match it up perfectly. And that gives this look of sort of spooky, wonky perspective, a perspective that's not quite right, and so gives the look of being kind of creepy or off the wall. And then I'm just doing a bit of line shading there to make them look darker, and some grass. You could do some dead flowers or something. And then I'm gonna move on and I'm gonna do an apple core. I don't know why the apple core is spooky, but it's just sort of that autumn, everything is decaying. So for the apple core, you wanna start with this sort of hat-like shape, the top part. And the thing about the apple core is because it's eaten and it's decaying, it can be any shape. So the lines are all very jagged and funny. And you want to do a similar shape on the bottom, and then you just meet it in the middle, coming in a little on both sides. And you can do some seeds, do lots of line shading or stippling. And that's a really fun one to sketch out. So we'll call this dead stuff. And then we're gonna drop down and we're gonna do a spider web. You just start with some lines going out from a corner, and then you join your lines with little U shapes. So lots of little U's, rows and rows of U's. We'll go over it in pen so you can really see it, but start with all these lines going out from one point in all directions, or in two directions if you're doing a corner, and then you're joining those lines with little U shapes. And that's your spooky spider web. Next, of course, we'll do a spider, and this is quite simple. You just do any sort of circular shape and then 4 legs on each side, and I just do little bent lines for the legs. I'm gonna do a snail as well, because he's kind of fun and cute. So for the spider, circle, then 4 little bent lines on each side, and they can overlap, and then I'm just gonna fill him in. He's not gonna get a face or anything. For the snail, you just do a big spiral resulting in a circle, and his body can sort of be any sort of shape, and we'll give him some little googly eyes, and he would be great for any Bujo doodle, springtime, summertime. He's just cute. All right, then I'm erasing all my pencil marks and I'm done. I've got a bunch of spooky doodles all sort of cataloged on one sheet here, and I can use them for my bullet journal, for my planner. I could make some greeting cards, whatever I want to do. These are great if you do them small or big. I especially love the ghosts, and I found with some Instagram posts that I did this week that you guys were really loving the ghosts as well. So that's partly why I wanted to concentrate on them in this video. I hope you enjoyed our spooky doodles. I will see you next week with a new tutorial. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And patrons, the October bonus tutorial will be released this weekend over on my Patreon page, so make sure to check that out. Thanks for watching.